Hope you guys are doing well. I want to cover today why I believe that people are quitting Amazon Flex in 2025. One of the biggest points I think to mention here is the low block availability, and a lot of times everybody in my comments, including myself for the past months, there are no blocks available. Whenever you open up the Amazon page, if you don't refresh, you're not going to get anything at all. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be low block availability. Whenever I open the load board that you would call it, or the Amazon board where it shows you all the blocks, there's no blocks. So you have to refresh, especially refresh a lot at certain times to get blocks. Now, the first tip I'm going to give you guys, which I use for myself, is every single time you accept a block or when you're refreshing and then end up catching a block, you should be noting down the time that you caught the block. It sounds annoying, and if you could keep like a notes page in your phone just to show you what times you caught at, it will help you later down the line if you keep doing it and keeping up with it. I used to believe there was no patterns, especially with sub same day stations, but there definitely is patterns there. Each station is different, by the way. The .com stations will have different drop times than the sub same day stations, especially because some days the .com stations have very, very low volume, as well as the sub same day stations. So do keep that in mind, because once you learn your drop time, and especially specific drop times throughout the day, you don't have to continuously refresh throughout the day, because that's what makes people hit the rate limit. I see it all the time on Reddit. People can't even search anymore because they hit the limit. The other thing, people get captcha jail because they're searching too much. Now Amazon implemented that. So after you get captcha jail, you can't even get any blocks. For anybody that's new to Amazon Flex, captcha wasn't always a thing. I think it became a thing maybe 2 years ago. And after it became a thing, it kind of got really hard to tap a lot, because you used to be able to tap a lot throughout the day. So then you'd be able to find blocks. It'd be easier because then you could look as much as you want. The rate limit would happen at times, and they refer to it, by the way, as captcha jail, because every single time, even on a reserve block or anything, it'll prompt you for the captcha, or even on an easy block, a base pay block, it's going to prompt you with the captcha again. So then it's very difficult to then get an actual block. The second thing I'm going to talk about is going to be oversaturation. The amount of drivers that Amazon Flex has now has increased tremendously in the last 5 years. Some people have been doing Flex since 2017, especially in the beginning of COVID. People remember how good it was and how easy it was to get blocks, but that was also because people were ordering like crazy. Something that also changed in the last years I want to talk about is going to be the mileage versus the pay. Years back, it used to be that you would finish a block, especially .com routes, very quickly because the packages and the stops were very close together. The biggest thing I want to touch on in this video is going to be the most controversial thing possible, and that is going to be about the pay. People take different types of pay in this, okay? And here, the base pay could go as low as like $17 an hour, and people take it. We are talking a 3-hour route for $50, not a lot at all, and this route is going to send you round trip close to 100 miles a lot of the times, and people don't realize that. A controversial idea that people like to put on people is basically saying that they took a 5-hour block and finished it in 3, then divide the money they made by 3 and say, look how much I made hourly. For me, I don't like that ideology. I think it's very cool to say that you finish quick, but I think you took a block and are trying to justify it by finishing as fast as possible. I would tell people to advise against that, okay? Because you shouldn't be pushing yourself, because that's how you make mistakes. That's how you get into accidents. That's how things go wrong. When I first started Flex, I used to want to do it so quickly. But as the years went on, I decided to take it a lot slower. Even on the videos you guys could see, I do finish early, but I'm not dying to finish early. The only thing that I really care about is if it's in the afternoon, I just want to finish before dark, because it makes it a lot easier on me. People are taking very low pay. Do I think that that kills all the other routes for people that are trying to get higher pay? No. I think a lot of people that are pushing others to try to take pay that they think is good is dumb. All I'm trying to say is, if you are taking 3-hour blocks for $50, you're killing your car for nothing. And one flat tire, I said this in a video prior, one flat tire, one big maintenance item is going to kill your week of all the blocks that you've done. Amazon Flex is great spare money, I guess you could say, or a part-time job, the equivalent. If you really try to make good money on Flex, you can, and I'm a true believer in that. It just takes time to learn the drop times and to be consistent. Let me know what you guys think about these topics. I love to hear you guys. I so much appreciate you guys actually commenting on these videos, informing me, explaining things to me, and giving me your perspective. To the next route.